It is a big weekend, of course, ahead in Australia with the Voice referendum, but also in New Zealand, where voters will be going to the polls for the country's election. Let's take you live to Wellington now and bring in David Farrar, a long-time New Zealand pollster. David, appreciate your time. Thank you. It sounds like change is in the air. What do the latest polls tell us about the likely result this weekend?
Yeah, the polls are clearly pointing towards a likely change of government. It's not impossible the government could be re-elected, but at the moment they're 4 or 5% short. I think most of the focus is going to be on whether National and ACT can make it by themselves, or for the fourth time in 10 elections, New Zealand First and its leader Winston Peters will effectively hold the balance of power, in which case he has said he will support a national-led government.
Okay, so the shape of any coalition is the way that the thing we'll be looking forward to seeing play out closely as the results come through. Why the shift to the right? What does the polling tell us about the issues that have really changed votes at this election?
Well, it has been a massive shift. People forget last election, Labor got 50% of the vote. They're currently polling at 25, 26%. That is a massive drop, twice as large as any other election since MMP started. And there's probably three major factors. One is the cost of living crisis. People can't afford food, people can't afford petrol. There's a lot of struggling families, and that they're looking for a new government to do something about it. The COVID response was very popular at the time, but as things dragged on, I think people got over it and wanted to move on quicker than the government did. And the third factor is that the government just hasn't really performed well, in the opinion of a number of people. They promised 100,000 Kiwi-build houses. They've built 1,200 after 5 of their 10 years. They promised they'd complete light rail in Auckland by 2 years ago. They haven't even started yet. So it's a combination of not really delivering and the cost of living crisis and a bit of a post-COVID hangover.
And so, David, are you seeing voters broadly moving away from both of the major parties? Do you expect that votes for the minor parties will be up?
Yeah, absolutely. Around National has gone up 10% or so from their result of 25%. The two major parties between them are only polling around 60%, and in previous elections, they've been 75, 80%. The Greens are having quite a surge here. Young progressives, because the Labor government has cancelled a lot of climate change initiatives and ruled out wealth taxes, have gone to the Greens. The ACT party's been polling well, and New Zealand First, as I've said, has really been increasing in support in the last couple of months too. So at this stage, it's looking to be good results for the minor parties, probably a change of government, but we really will be waiting to see, can it be a two-party government or a three-party government?
David, we've seen a real lack of faith in polling in recent years. As a pollster, how much do you trust the polls?
Well, I'm slightly biased, of course. We're a bit lucky in New Zealand because we have proportional representation. Even if there is a polling error of, say, 2% here, that will only affect the number of seats a party gets by 2. Unlike Australia, whereas you've seen in, I think, two elections ago, a 2 or 3% polling error could mean 20 marginal seats. So to some degree, minor polling errors don't matter so much here. Last election, Labor did do quite a bit better than expected, but they were on a real roll. What's perhaps unusual here is all the public polls are remarkably consistent. They've all got Labor in the mid to high 20s. They've all got National in the mid to high 30s. Sometimes you often get polls disagreeing with each other, but at this stage, the polls are remarkably consistent.
David Farrar, really appreciate your analysis and insights on those polls as New Zealand gears up for voting day this weekend. Appreciate your time. Thanks so much.